Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back onto the Morning Majlis. And guys, if you haven't been down to the Islamic Garden yet, I would say you're missing out. I wouldn't say it because it's still too hot at the moment, and luckily you don't have children, and because it's just a perfect getaway for the families, perfect location for people living near University City and even in Sharjah City to head on over to this new attraction, which started during the Eid al-Adha weekend. It was officially inaugurated. It is the Islamic Garden, free of cost to enter, 4 entrances along the Udaid Road, and so much to explore. And I went there yesterday right after my show, and it was very hot indeed, but luckily I was in a kandura, so I didn't feel it too much. But I can see why some people wouldn't like to be in a park at bang in the middle of 12 noon, because it is not the best of all times to be out there. But the surroundings were so amazing, and just to see that there's 2 playgrounds as well, so a lot of people can keep the kids busy and occupied, and there's safe environment for the kids to be running around and playing.
There are food courts as well, right?
There is a food central place. There's a restaurant. There's a coffee shop being developed, and hopefully when winter picks up, it will be the place to be. And I have to tell you that it'll be very difficult to find a picnic spot.
And there are fountains?
There is a central fountain.
2 fountains, right?
There's lots of monuments.
Yeah.
But to talk to us about the monuments, we're very delighted to welcome a civil engineer from the Sharjah Directorate of Public Works, Engineer Majid, the Alshaer Suwaidi. A very good morning for joining us this morning, and welcome onto the Majlis.
Good morning to you, brother, and good morning to everyone available there.
Yes, it is Ahmed Dawood and Rani Saadi alongside me joining you in the Majlis. Now, let's start talking about the Islamic aspect of the Islamic Garden. We're paying tribute to 16 scholars, and when I went down to the Islamic Garden, I saw a number of names, of course, and really good to see that and celebrate the work and lives of these scholars. But talk to us about how did we select these 16 names, and how did this whole idea of Islamic Garden come about?
At the beginning, I would like to talk about the Islamic part, adding a new destination of Islamic tourism in Sharjah and the new landmarks in the tourism map of Sharjah. That's we have to mention it and make it clear. Choosing the names. The names was chosen by His Highness Sheikh Dr. Fadad bin Hamad Al-Qasimi, member of Supreme Council, ruler of Sharjah, of the distinguished scholar who have really brilliant achievement in different kind of scientific, let's say medical, let's say Abbas bin Farnas, the first person who attempted to fly. So the choosing of the names was really by His Highness.
Mm-hmm. And talking to us about the park itself, because there is a lot of people are aware of the monument that was erected in 2014 in recognition of us as being the Islamic culture capital, and everything was made surrounding it. So what was there before, and what's been changed now?
Before, it was just as you mentioned earlier, we had over there 2 distinguished landmarks. That's the capital of culture and the capital of Islamic world. And His Highness decided to have this park in between both of the landmarks over there to encourage people more to try to visit this area, especially it's nearby the Sharjah University and along the Sharjah Udaid Road and opposite the Sharjah Airport.
Mm-hmm.
And how can people visit the garden, and what will they find really there? What are the main features of the park?
First of all, they could find the park. Along the Sharjah Udaid Road, opposite the Sharjah University. Mm-hmm. There is 4 entrances that been made for visitors to come and visit the park. The park is free of charge, as we know. And we have over there a coffee shop area been made to with all the facilities needs for the public, as a coffee shop or a cooling area, especially with the hot summer right now. And outside we will find 16 scholar memorial that been done for 16 distinguished person who really achieved in our Islamic world in terms of science, medical, astronomy, and even Abbas bin France, as I said earlier, who tried to the first person who attempted to fly.
Yeah, interesting stuff. And I'm also interested in the experience of being in this garden. What kind of experience do you think visitors would have looking at these plants and knowing about the history behind them?
First of all, the experience will be delighted for everyone, especially all the, let's say, younger people who try to learn something, especially from the from the sculpture itself, by reading some information and some of their achievement. And there is two playgrounds been made for children, and one it is for 1,400 meter square rubber ground area, and the other one is 400 meter square sandy area for children to play. So the park basically combine everyone, kids and people who would like to get more information about the science.
And again, it's open from what time to what time?
It's open 24 hours, but for this time, I suggest people to visit the park, especially at approximately about the evening time, due to the hot weather.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
do you think
As your colleague said, he
Yeah.
went to 12 in the afternoon. It was a mistake.
Great advice.
Made a great mistake.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a mistake, to be honest. I would advise others not to do it, of course. But for myself, I was okay, because being in a condora was fine. But and it was the no one around, so it's always a great experience. But I'd like to ask you, in terms of, let's say, when we say 24 hours, would it be light? Would it be lit? Let's say 3 in the morning, for example, or would we have any specific?
Especially we have all the parks usually, especially that located next to main road, let's say as Sharjah Date Road, mostly the lights stays on all the time. We have over there 36 lampposts that been added to this project to lighten up this project.
Very good, very impressive. And, there was, I think, if I'm not wrong, when you say interlocked 1,800 meters of walkways for people to, even if they wanted to go for a little bit of a run or a jog in the morning.
Yeah, it is indeed 18,000 meter walk path. It's between the two beautiful fountains that been done the beginning of the project and in front of the coffee shop area. It's a total of 1,800 meters.
Very impressive. Now we have 100,000 meters of green spaces, from what I understand. Just to clarify, when things get better, would people be allowed to do picnic in that park, or is it going to be stick to the walkways?
No, definitely it will be allowed, but definitely it will be allowed with a bit of restriction. You know, like the normal restriction we have in the public parks, it will be implemented over there.
Very good, very impressive, and that will be interesting. So now I'd like to get a little bit of a quick summary from you to say, we give you 30 seconds, sell us the idea of coming down to the Islamic Garden in a very small summary.
Come again, but I didn't hear you.
My question to you is, if we were to ask you a quick summary and a quick 30-second of a response to say, why should one person visit the Islamic Garden to convince the Sharjawi and Sharjawiyas to come, what would you say?
first of all, to convince people to visit this park, we have to know that we have 16 sculpture that memorial that been done for 16 brilliant brains that really achieved our Islamic world with their basically with everything that we know today, from math, from medical, from astronomy, from geology, from everywhere. So that's a chance for people to get some information cost-free and to look at some ceramic painting handmade that been done by specialist people who are really really great in this kind of job. So I encourage people to visit, to enjoy their time, have a jog, have a coffee in the coffee shop, enjoy a walk back.
Mm-hmm. Well, we certainly are going to be looking forward to that. Thank you very much for joining us, Engineer Majid Alshaer, for this morning, to join us on the Morning Majlis and tell us a little bit more about the Sharjah Islamic Garden. And we look forward to seeing more people heading over to that park. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was the civil engineer from Sharjah Directorate of Public Works joining us to talk to us about the Sharjah Islamic Garden. If you have ventured down there or are planning to do so, let us know on the text lines 4215. Definitely do not go at 12 noon at this point in this summer conditions, but definitely in the winter it will be brilliant for sure. Well, stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis. We'll be right back after some musical entertainment.
The heart of Sharjah.
This is Pulse 95.
95. Heart of Sharjah.